good morning, afternoon, esteemed officers, analysts, pilots, and honored guests. Today, we gather to reflect on a story that redefines courage, precision, and the unyielding spirit of a pilot who turned an aging machine into a legend. This is the story of Captain Riley Jameson, call sign Hawk, and her A-10 Warthog, a jet many overlooked but one she wielded like a thunderbolt. Her actions in the face of overwhelming odds, from the rocky ridges of Echo 3 to the shadowed compounds of Bravo 9 and Whiskey 2, remind us that wars are not won by machines alone, but by the will of those who refuse to quit. Let me take you back to the moment Colonel Jacobs, in a desperate call for close air support, said, "Any jet will do," only to go pale when Riley's A-10 was first on scene. This is her story, and it's a lesson for us all. Picture a dusty operations tent, screens flashing red with enemy movement closing in on a pinned U.S. infantry unit at Echo 3. Time was running out. Colonel Jacobs, hunched over a digital map, demanded air support. "Any jet," he said. The room buzzed with urgency, but options were slim. F-15s were too far, Raptors grounded. Only one aircraft was ready, an A-10 Warthog, piloted by Captain Riley Jameson. When the controller hesitated, Jacobs didn't blink. "Send it," he said. Riley, already halfway to the hangar, didn't need to be told twice. Known as Hawk for her relentless precision, she strapped into her Warthog, a beast of a jet dismissed by many for its lack of stealth or speed. But Riley didn't fly for accolades or doctrine. She flew to hunt. As her twin engines roared to life, she took off, slicing toward the hot zone. Below, chaos reigned, smoke rising, tracers arcing, soldiers boxed in. Riley's voice crackled over the radio. "Echo 3, this is Hawk, visual on friendlies, got company." Her calm was unshakable. She dove, her GU-8 Avenger cannon spinning up, unleashing a chattering thunder that shredded enemy ranks. Trucks exploded, fighters scattered, and the battlefield shifted. She didn't climb for safety. She swooped, making pass after pass, her cannon carving through the valley like a predator. On the ground, a young private named Carson dropped his rifle in awe. "That's a Hog," he whispered. His squad leader corrected him. "That's Hawk." By the time Riley returned to base, the enemy was gone, and the soldiers were waving their rifles in gratitude. Colonel Jacobs, watching the drone footage, whispered, "She's controlling the whole damn battlefield." This was no ordinary pilot. This was Riley. Riley's legend grew with each mission, but Delta II tested her like never before. A new threat emerged. Insurgents planting man-portable air defense systems along a supply route. Riley launched alone, her Warthog scarred from Echo 3 but ready. Flying through thick clouds, she spotted a convoy of pickups moving under camo netting, not fleeing, but drilling, preparing. Her instincts flared. This wasn't a retreat, it was a trap. As she dove, her threat warning screamed, "Missile lock." She popped flares, twisted through a canyon so tight her wings nearly scraped the walls, and evaded not one but two missiles. Most pilots would have pulled back. Riley didn't. She spotted a cave entrance, baited the enemy to reveal their hidden launcher, and dropped a laser-guided bomb straight into it. The mountain erupted, the trap collapsed, and Riley flew home, her jet limping but victorious. Jacobs met her on the tarmac, stunned. "You broke their trap," he said. Riley shrugged. "Didn't like their hospitality." This wasn't luck. This was skill, honed by obsession and a refusal to leave anyone behind. Riley wasn't just flying missions. She was rewriting what the A-10 could do, proving that persistence, not speed, wins wars. The stakes rose at Zulu 4, where a refugee convoy of 70 civilians, including children, was ambushed, trapped between a minefield and mortar fire. Riley launched with no backup, no satellite cover, just her Warthog loaded for surgical strikes. The terrain was a nightmare, steep hills, narrow ridges. But Riley thrived in the impossible. She spotted muzzle flashes, dropped cluster bombs, and silenced the mortars. When an IED detonated and enemy fighters flanked the convoy, she dove so low the soldiers swore they saw her eyes through the canopy. 6 passes, every round spent, and Riley stayed until the last civilian crossed the ridge to safety. Jacobs met her on the runway, voice heavy. 70 people are alive because you didn't wait for orders. Riley's response was simple. I don't wait. I act. Her warthog, blackened and steaming, stood as a testament to her resolve, its nose art, hawk's wrath, a symbol of salvation. The Argo cell, a shadow unit of ex-military mercenaries, brought a new kind of threat. They weren't insurgents, they were professionals, hunting for impact. Their target, an aid convoy, soft and symbolic. Riley flew into Bravo 9 alone, her warthog loaded with mavericks and fletchet pods. The terrain was treacherous. Dunes, concrete ruins, and haze blurring her sensors. She struck first, scattering the enemy with a warning shot. But Argo was ready. They lured her in, targeting her jet with laser-guided missiles, aiming to frame her crash as friendly fire. Riley's instincts saved her. In a ghost dive, engines cut, falling silently. She evaded their trap, then unleashed her cannon and final maverick, obliterating their positions. Her jet took a hit, smoke trailing, but she landed on fumes, stepping out to silence and reverence. Jacobs offered his hand. She didn't take it. She stood tall and said, "Get her rearmed. We're not done." Riley wasn't just a pilot. She was a force, turning Argo's calculated strategy into ash. The Argo cell's last stronghold was a broadcast tower in Whiskey 2, a symbol of hope beaming Riley's rescues to the region. She flew a battered warthog, patched with duct tape, into a barren expanse. Spotting an enemy airstrip, she realized their planned escape after destroying the tower. As missiles fired, she rolled, flared, and dropped a JDAM, obliterating their runway. Hostiles emerged with shoulder launchers. Riley's cannon ended them. The station crew filmed her warthog arcing low. A mural later painted in her honor Shaheen the Hawk. She landed, exhausted but unbroken, and turned down a medal. "I don't fly for ribbons," she said. "I fly to end things." Riley's story isn't just about a jet or a pilot. It's about will. At the Pentagon, accepting the Distinguished Flying Cross, she said, "I fly because people need me to fly. I fight because people need me to fight." She spoke to schoolchildren, telling them she wasn't a superhero, just someone who refused to stop. To young pilots, she taught, "Stop flying scared. People win wars, not jets." Colonel Jacobs learned never to say, "Any jet will do." Riley proved the A-10, dismissed as slow, was unmatched in persistence. Her warthog, scarred and grimy, was a badge of survival, a symbol of hope. She flew alone, not for glory, but because if not her, then who? Her legacy lives in every pilot who chooses action over hesitation, in every soldier who waves at a warthog overhead, in every civilian who survived because Riley Jameson flew. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Riley Jameson, Hawk, showed us that courage isn't loud. It's precise, relentless, and unafraid. She flew when others wouldn't, fought when others couldn't, and came home to fly again. Her A-10 wasn't just a jet, it was an extension of her will. Let her story inspire us to act, to persist, to believe that one person, one machine, one choice can change everything. Thank you.